So we're here, Jacqueline, Stacy. I'm Stacy, that's Jacqueline. And we're talking, let's talk real estate. And every Thursday, we're gonna come to you talking about what's happening in the market. And sometimes we have special guests. Sometimes we're just going over, of course, what's happening in the real estate market and talking about things that maybe are going on with you and or your clients. So today we're gonna focus on what's happening and how to win a bidding war, which we are experiencing. Multiple bidding wars, Jacqueline, right?
It's a crazy time in the real estate market, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a crazy time. I am trying to verify, Jacqueline, are we okay on Facebook? Are we live here? I think we are. I see it. That's good. Perfect. And all right, so let's hop in. I actually am seeing it on Facebook, so that's great. So let's hop in. It's a little bit of a delay, but that's fine. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And when I share my screen, we're going to be showing you some market data. And we're going to talk, we're going to highlight two towns, one of which is in this area, right? Bergen County, on the eastern side of Bergen County. We're going to spotlight Tenafly. And then we're also going to go and talk about what's going on in the Saddle River Pascack Valley, which is a little bit further in Bergen County. But we are, SEG has two teams. We have one team representing this part of Bergen County and then another team representing that part of Bergen County. So it's exciting and we want to make sure that we talk about both. Right, Jacqueline?
Right. We're covering you from all angles of Bergen County.
All angles of Bergen County, yeah. So let me go ahead and, you know, one of our agents is calling us now. I'm wondering why, but that's okay. Allison, we're on the phone, Allison. We're on FaceTime, Allison. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Jacqueline, while I'm pulling that up, let's tell everybody what happened with one of our houses over the weekend that we just listed while I'm pulling it up.
This was an exciting story, and we seem to be experiencing this more and more as we get into this crazy market during COVID. So we put a fabulous home on the market on the East Hill of Tenafly on Forest for $1,625. We did not allow showings on Friday. Our showings started on Sunday. We wound up booking 13 showings in a row on Sunday. It was craziness. It looked like a carnival on the street of Forest. Great activity. We wind up having multiple bids and going significantly over asking on that home and getting an accepted bid within, were we an accepted bid within by Tuesday, Stace? I think Tuesday.
I think so, yeah.
Super quick, and this has been consistent. So when we're pricing competitively, people are coming in the door, they're putting their bids on. We're seeing multiple bids and we're seeing homes go quickly because there's just not enough inventory on the market right now. Ton of demand, not enough supply. So
I'm trying to pull that up now so that we can see it. I just want to, I don't know where I saved it, so I'm going to pull that up. And I think what was really interesting, and I think the other thing to talk about is also, oh, it's right here. The other thing to talk about is also that the governor of New Jersey just, I don't know what phase we're in, what phase we're not in, but whatever, they just said that they loosened the restrictions and now we're able to actually have open houses, Jacqueline, right?
No, we're nervous to say that term, right? It's been so long.
Yeah. So let's talk a little, before we just jump into the market, which I'm going to do, let's go ahead and just to kind of explain to everybody what that means. Like, so if you're a homeowner and you are, and I'm going to share my screen also, if you're a homeowner and you're looking for an opportunity to sell your house and you're wondering, well, how are we doing that safely? Well, there's super important things that we do as a team and we're going to continue to do. So number one, we are very careful and we are always only letting one shopper, one buyer in at a time. And we have masks, we have booties. Actually, we have our own masks. SEG masks. We have masks, we have booties, so we cover our hands, we have our feet covered, we have masks. Everybody has to sign a waiver, which is a document that the New Jersey MLS has put together, and our company stating that they've not been exposed to COVID. And we asked the homeowner actually just turn all the lights on. They open stuff that we would want to see inside of, and we really are looking so that we don't have to touch, the less we touch, the better, is really the message, right, Jacqueline?
Mm-hmm. That's the message. And when these clients do have agents, we're making sure that we have either proof of funds or pre-approval so that we know that they are serious when they're entering your home, and are ready.
That's a really big thing, right? Because I mean, that's something that really is a great standard, right? So this is your house. And why do you want anybody in there that's not qualified to buy that house? So we're trying to weed out as many people as we possibly can. The other way we do that is by all the amazing marketing that we do. In fact, Jacqueline had said to me, we were showing this house this weekend, and one of the buyers there said, you know, I really almost didn't even have to come because the marketing materials were so thorough, you know, between the drone shots and the 360 tour of the house and all of the details and the specifications that we put into the marketing, which, you know, takes a bit of time and energy, but it's well worth it. The funny part is we were doing all of this before.
Thank God. Could you imagine if with everything else we've been pivoting and adjusting with, if we had to?
It's like everybody else is like, oh, we can do this and we can do that, and we're like, we've always been doing this. I know, it's funny. I like that. All right, so Jacqueline, I have up on my screen, and I'm hoping everybody who is, let's just make sure people can see it. And so what we're looking at right now is a snapshot of the market here in Tenafly and Bergen County, like a snapshot of the highlight of Bergen County towns. How are we doing on Facebook, Jacqueline? Are we okay?
Well, we're trucking along.
We are there. Okay, good. So the snapshot is pretty cool. So what we want to do is make sure that our buyers and our sellers are incredibly informed. So we take that very seriously. And so what we do is we put together market reports just like this one for multiple towns, and allows us to really highlight what is happening in the market and talk to these numbers and see if these numbers are able to help us guide our buyers and sellers. So it's pretty cool, where it's a little nerdy. We absolutely love it, and it helps us quite a lot. I think that this one, for instance, I'm looking at here, this is one from our SEG team over in the Woodcliff Lake area. And if you all can see my cursor right here, I would love for you to just kind of follow what I'm doing now, right? So we call this report Key Market Indicators, and it's as of June 16th, 2020. Key Market Indicators, June 16th, 2020. We have gone ahead and sort of reviewed it, and we're gonna focus you in on what we call sort of the highlights of this report. And here's where I want to focus you in. I want you to look at the sold units, and then I want you to look at the months of inventory. I want you to look at the sold units and the months of inventory. So it's very interesting, but when you look at a market in terms of supply and demand, you really do get a very clear indication of what's happening and what's going to continue to happen. Would you agree, Jacqueline?
Absolutely.
So when you looked at this, Jacqueline, like, what was your aha from the sold units over here?
It's pretty consistent that, well, I'm looking at two things. I'm looking at our inventory being sliced in half, a lot less inventory. And I see some less sold homes, which we were talking about before, is a result of not having enough inventory.
Right. So that's what's so cool about this, right? Mm-hmm. So the message from this report is, first we start with the inventory, right? If you're a buyer and you're looking for product, you are probably feeling incredibly uncomfortable because you're feeling there's not enough supply. And you're right, there's not enough supply. The demand is outpacing the supply. That is what's happening right now. So if we just like spotlight Montvale, so Montvale is a pretty big, popular town in this area. And this time last year, here's Montvale. Should I make this bigger, Jacqueline?
A little bit, if anyone's blind like I am.
I can't hear you very well. I'm just telling you, sorry.
That never happens.
I know. So this area here, so what you're seeing is this months of inventory. So even if you just literally look at Montvale, so Montvale is a town that consistently has a lower amount of inventory. So we look at inventory in three ways. Are we oversupplied? Are we sort of neutral? Or are we undersupplied? That's how we look at inventory. And you should probably look at inventory and think anywhere around 6 months of inventory is considered a very neutral market, really not really buyer or seller market. Once we start going above, way above those numbers, then you're probably looking at a market that has way more supply than it does demand. Okay, that's where you start. And then you want to dig into where that inventory is sitting, right? Because sometimes it's sitting in pockets that are less desirable than other pockets, like maybe high end has a lot, but the opening price point might not be quite as chock full of product, right? So you start at the higher level and then we just kind of dig in, right, Jacqueline? So we have in Montvale alone, it's a town that just does not have enough product consistently. And you're sitting here and you have in 2019 during this time frame, you had 4.9 months of supply. And right now you're sitting with 3.5 months of supply, 3.5 months of supply. So that's over a month less inventory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jacqueline, you with me?
Yep, I'm with you.
I can't hear you.
And
Maybe it's me. Okay, so over a month less supply, but when you come over here and look at how many units they've sold, you're only seeing 3 less units sold. So there's a discrepancy there, and that's showing you, right, that there's a lot more demand, and the demand is outpacing the inventory. The demand is outpacing the inventory. So eventually what happens in these kind of markets is you're going to continue to, unless a lot more product hits the market, you're going to continue to see less and less units sold because there's just not enough product, So what's the message? What's the takeaway? And the takeaway is if you're a Montvale buyer and you're a serious Montvale buyer, you really need to know. You need to understand that this is a market that's working against you as a buyer, because you need to go into this knowing that there's probably 10, 15 other people who want what you want. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind. And we're going to segue into, after we're done with this market report, we're going to segue into how to be the best buyer, how to win the bidding war because of what's happening in the market. Jacqueline, any other spotlights in the Valley Realty market here that you want to talk about?
Let's see. Montvale's a really let's see, Woodcliff Lake. I mean, what's interesting is that, and this is similar with our area as well, it's very consistent. You know, looking at Woodcliff Lake, where our office is, our expansion team, Debbie and Allison are out of, it's very consistent with just not enough product.
Not enough product, yeah. So we do this market report and we do a lot of other market reports. And if you want to see what's happening in your town, and we didn't list it here, that's just because we don't want to list every single town. We're just trying to spotlight. So you just have to reach out to us and we will share with you the information specifically about your town, or we're happy to do a spotlight on your town on our next show. So that's all good, right? So again, this is a market that is looking very similar to a rising, accelerated market of not enough inventory. way more demand, and you'll start to see less units being sold because there's just simply not enough product. So heads up. And it's interesting, but you know, you could see new listings. This is another indicator. So we look at this. So this on the right side, I guess is my right side. Maybe your left, I don't know. But the right side here. So if you look at this, what we're showing you is what happened since COVID. So we're looking at this and saying, when COVID hit, how much product has come on the market? And we're gonna watch this carefully. So since COVID started, there were 27 homes in Montville that hit the market, okay? But the same time last year, 43 homes hit the market, because you guys, we're literally in the height of our spring selling season, right? Spring, summer selling season. So to have 43 homes hit the market during April, May, June, that's what should be happening, right? Plus you might need more. So again, 43 homes, think about it. 43 homes hit the market last year and they still only had 4.9 months of supply. And this year, only 27 units hit the market. That's it. And the sales are outpacing it. So look down the road here. You'll probably see similar things. Last year in Saddle River, 48 homes hit the market. This time, 22 for this year. 77 in Upper Saddle River, 69 this year. Now Saddle River is, and then you could even see Upper Saddle River, regular Saddle River, sorry, did I say that backwards? Saddle River 4822.
You said that right.
So, and Woodcliff Lake, 43 homes last year to 21 this year. Again, these are new inventory that hit the market since COVID. 79 in Rivervale against 39 units this year. 76 in Hillsdale against 34. These are alarming numbers for home buyers. They are. They're alarming numbers for home buyers. They are. It's a call to action. It's telling you home buyers, you better be on your game. You better be working with the right team, and you better know how to be that best buyer, right? So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So I am going to come out of this screen, and I'm going to walk into, I believe, Keller Williams Town Life. Jacqueline, do we have any questions on Facebook?
Hang on one second. We're slightly delayed here, so it trips me up when I'm looking at both. Let's see if we have any questions yet.
Well, we have our girls saying hi.
Wait, why can't I see that?
It's on the, I don't know, it might be on mine. It's okay.
I can't see that.
All right, so we are online, and now we are switching over to, we've switched over to Keller Williams Town Life. And so Keller Williams Town Life, and we are going to look at what's going on here. Just want to make sure that I have, want to make sure I'm on gallery view. Sometimes I'm on the wrong view, Jacqueline, right?
More than sometimes you're on the
More
wrong.
than sometimes I'm on the wrong view. That's okay. All right, well, first of all, so again, I'm Stacy, this is Jacqueline. We are here talking about market updates. And if you stay tuned to the end of this, when we're done with this, we're going to talk about how to win the bidding war. So here we are in in the Bergen County area, Eastern Bergen County, right? We just did Northern Bergen County. We're doing Eastern Bergen County, and we're talking about key market indicators in this COVID height of the season, crazy market. And it is just that, it's crazy. And the message, if you're going to look at this sheet, I want to focus you in on two very important pieces to start. Months of inventory, and then we're going to look at sold units. But months of inventory, markets are driven by supply and demand. It's pretty black and white. Supply and demand drives the markets. The 2019 months of supply in Tenafly for the same time of year was at a very high 13.4. Now, when you go into towns that have a higher median price point, you're going to naturally see a bigger number of a bigger supply number as pretty much as a baseline, right? So Alpine, for instance, 11.8 months of supply. So let's assume for a minute that 6.8 months of inventory is a decent amount. We know, just being on the ground, that it's not, that there's not enough inventory to meet demand. So if you're looking at 2019, Tenafly had 13.4 months. Last year, right about this time, we were still in the very bottom part of the real estate cycle, right? And that's really important. The cycle of real estate, like anything else, there's a cycle. Last year, we were in the lower part of that cycle. We were in this. What do you call this part, Jacqueline? I don't know.
The bottom?
Bottom, right. We were somewhere on the bottom, okay? If COVID did not happen, I'm really just speaking about it as in real estate terms, right? Mm-hmm. We would have been creeping to get back up, to recover, because we were in a cycle like this. Still working from home. Okay. So you're with me. So we're in the cycle. So here COVID happens. And instead of taking 1, 2, probably 3 years to recover from our cycle, we pressed fast forward and we just shot up. We shot up, okay? So last year in Tenafly, 13.4 months of inventory. This year, 6.8 months. If you go down the line, and this is what Jacqueline was saying before, the consistency, it's there. In every town, Tenafly, Alpine, Closter, Crestkill, Demarest, Englewood Cliffs, Teaneck, Bergenfield, every single town has significantly less product to sell. Significantly less product to sell.
You know what's interesting, and this just shows how dramatic this is, like you mentioned before, the higher price points towns like Alpine, Saddle River, we've been in double digits for, I don't even know how many years.
Let's clarify what you're saying. So Jacqueline's saying that we've had double digits of inventory, which basically is we've had north of 9 months of supply for as long as Jacqueline, you live in Saddle River.
No, and it's been for as long as I've been looking at this and been in real estate, and I would assume it would be much longer than that. We've been, and I'm not even saying double digits, we've been north of 20 with Alpine and Saddle River and towns like that. And to see it, and I know in Saddle River it's the same, to see it under even 15 is drastic.
It's drastic, right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So,
great for those towns though.
It's great for those towns. I know. I think it's great. Okay. So I'm just doing pin to the top of the page. Okay. So, what I think is really super impressive about all this is that my dogs are now trying to get back in my room. Hold on a second. Really?
You know what? I just have to make a comment. Thank God that you dressed head to toe for these.
Oh, you saw my pants? I almost didn't. I was rushing. But here's why I keep getting interrupted, just so everybody can see. Hold on. Where are they? There they are. There they go. Okay. Coco and Tiger keep getting interrupted. All right. So let's continue. So it's good. Yeah. Thank God I did put pants on today, right, Jacqueline? So now we looked at months of inventory. We can see we're down, 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 down. And we could also take a peek and look over here at sold units. So we are not, in most cases, in some cases we're above, in some cases we're slightly below. Tenafly year-to-date sold units is 178 versus last year 134. So that's a striking number. I mean, that's like a really big number, Jacqueline, right? Like cuckoo, right? That's,
And we're every day.
Yeah, and half the inventory.
Yeah, it's.
Think about it. So it's 178 units sold right here. This is where I'm looking for everybody, right here. Against 134. And we have literally half the supply. So that's crazy. That's just crazy. All right, now let's check out Alpine, because that's always fun, right? So Alpine is kind of similar to Saddle, right?
Right.
So Alpine is a similar town to Saddle River. Tenafly is probably similar to Upper Saddle River. Yeah. So in Alpine, you had 37.7 months of inventory this time last year, and now you have 11.8.
I believe
Alpine.
It had the most inventory out of any Bergen County town. It was
winner, 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 chicken dinner.
River was in second place for last place.
Winner, winner, yay. Yeah, it's pretty funny, sorry. So not funny, but here we are. You know, what goes up must come down. So is that right? What goes up must come down? I don't even know.
Yes,
all right.
Good thing that it's coming down. Back.
It is. All right, and now let's look at okay, so let's keep going. So so we have Crestkill. It sold 96 units. It sold 103 to 96 units. Again, it's this year to last year sold units year to date. We know that every single town has less inventory, but they're all selling, for the most part, selling more product, right? So they're chewing through the product, Crestkill 112 to 106. So Demarest 59 to 68. So that's a little bit less, but check out Demarest's medium price point. Check out what happened to Demarest. Demarest, you might be selling less product, but check out what happened to your medium price point. Hello, you went from 835 to 965.
That's like,
good job. Makes sense. Like, it's crazy, right?
Unbelievable.
Wait, it's crazy. I get it. So Alpine's selling more product, but their median price point went down. Closer's median price point went down. Crestskill's median price point went up. Mm-hmm. And Demarest shot up a lot. And Englewood Cliffs, you know, that came down significantly in median price point so far. And Teaneck went up, and Bergenfield quite substantially went up right over here. Anyway, so we are, the other piece we like to look at is over here, and these are new listings. So this is new listings since COVID started. It's a pretty cool indicator, and it's helpful. It's helpful as a seller. It's helpful as a buyer. It's the beginning of what I would call like the diving into this, the diving into these numbers. This is like the beginning. I would say that you should take the next step and go into what these numbers mean by price range. We're not going to do that because we would bore you all, but if you want to do that, call us. It'll give you an idea of, you know, where your house fits in, or what chance you have as a buyer also. Okay. Make sense, Jacqueline?
Makes sense. And I think another thing is keep in mind, guys, we're starting new listings as of March 13th when COVID was really just starting. So our spring market was super delayed. We're really seeing the pickup. I've been talking to appraisers and other agents. The pickup of the spring market is now, when usually it was February, March, April. So that was all delayed. So we expect that these numbers are, hopefully, as people become more comfortable, these numbers are going to go up.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I do think normally we see a season that starts a lot earlier and everything was completely pushed back, right? I agree with you. And interest rates staying really low has just helped us sustain this market, you know? So
seeing their friends get about 10% more on their homes will probably be cranking out some more new listings.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, should we say that? I'm not sure if we should say that. That kind of puts us on the spot. But yeah, Jacqueline, what Jacqueline is saying is that, you know, based on what we're selling, based on the homes we're selling, our assessment is that we've seen from pre-COVID to post to now. So if you were on the market before March, right, before COVID happened, to now, we're probably looking at about a 10% on average, a 10% increase. So the way I look at that is I have an idea of what we typically rise in value every year as we recover. So it's going to be somewhere typically between 2 to 4%. So every year as we're recovering at a healthy pace, or as we're giving back some value at a healthy pace, so no bubbles, right? We're somewhere between 2 to 4% on average. So if we, my team, and we do a lot of business, so if we're looking at the numbers and we're saying, it seems like we've already picked up 10%. That means that we might have skipped 3 years of recovery. That's really what it's saying to me. Like, we literally might have skipped 3 years. I mean, this is my opinion. It's Jacqueline's opinion. This is not, you know, it's, please understand where this is coming from. Like, just, you know, I want to make sure I'm bulletproofing myself here. I mean, listen, we're doing a tremendous amount of business. We're very big into analyzing the numbers. We have a fabulous team of women, and we talk every day, and we're all over Bergen County. So it's boots on the ground combined with looking at the numbers and telling you what we're seeing, okay? Telling you what we're seeing. So we very well might have accelerated our market 3 years and picked up 10% of value in a couple of months.
Mm-hmm. In 3 months.
In 3 months, right? So that's kind of what it's saying. So let's take a last look, and then we're going to go into how to win the bidding war, and we're going to look just to show you, because this is going to be a great segue, how to win into how to win the bidding war and why that's important. So new listings. So Jacqueline, you were saying, you know, this is really from like when everything shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you give me, let's talk to this a little bit.
New listings. So as a whole, there's clearly less new listings taken in 2020 than 2019.
Sorry, go ahead.
Whether that be homes that went on the market and then were taken off because of COVID, we're unsure. But clearly because of COVID, there's a lot less listings. Again, speaking to, there's not enough inventory here.
Yeah, there's not enough inventory. So again, like right now, if you look at new product that hit the market since March 13th, that's what this is showing you. New product that hit the market since March 13th. This is a really interesting spotlight of information. New product that hit the market since March 13th. It's a drastic decrease, you know, and like Jacqueline said, it's definitely COVID related. You know, a lot of sellers maybe, you know, for different reasons have decided not to sell. We are now, in the last like 3 weeks, I would say I'm getting about 2 calls a day from sellers now saying, we hear you, we see what's going on, we're more comfortable how you're letting people in the houses. We understand that there's, you know, going to be restrictions. We can see that you know how to sell the houses for top dollar faster. And, you know, and so we're getting those phone calls, and I'm encouraging sellers to take a moment, think about it. We don't know what's going to be, but we know what's happening right now. So 2009, look at these numbers, Jacqueline, 19 to 20 inventory. So it's very interesting because we know how much demand is coming from the city. It's also interesting because we have a lot of residents that are living in their own towns that are living in their houses in a way maybe they've never lived in them before and are not comfortable going on vacation. Mm-hmm. And mortgage rates are still really low. So they want to buy and sell in the same market, right? They want to buy and sell. They want to sell maybe a smaller house and move up to a bigger house. And it's you know, the media is talking about it. We've been experiencing it. And then people who were looking to downsize, now's the time. Now's the time. So these inventory numbers are striking and they tell a very, very specific story. They tell a story that there's more demand and less supply, more demand and less supply. So with that, let's jump in. Jacqueline, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I did have gallery view on. Oh my God, that's so exciting. Okay, good. We're going to jump in and we're going to talk about how to be the best buyer. How to be the best buyer. How to win the bid on Facebook. How to win the bid on Facebook. That's funny, actually. No.
How to win the bidding war.
How to win the bidding war. So we're going to jump into this. We're going to take just a few minutes. We're going to talk about it. And I am hoping that I can actually do another screen share, but I'm going to do a whiteboard. Do you think I could do that and actually make it work? So I could do a whiteboard. Okay, so this is going to be, I am like the absolute worst, but we're going to say how to win the bidding war. So this way, if people.
This is live. You're really going to have to work on your spelling now.
Spelling stinks. Okay, but we're going to put it here. We're going to do the best we can. And excuse my typos, but this is what we're talking about. How to win the bidding war. And here we go. Got it? With me, Jacqueline? How to win the bidding war. Okay. Wait. All right. Let's start. So how do we win the bidding war? So we just explained to you guys pretty succinctly that you are in a high demand, low inventory number, and you are going out and you're going to go look for a house. What do you need to do first? I would say first, be educated.
Yes. This is everything that we've been speaking to is saying that there's more, it's you and 500 other people just like you competing for and looking at the same homes. So now more than ever, you have to be the strongest buyer. And that starts with being educated on the market, which starts with having a very good educated agent.
That's exactly right. I want to make sure, I think I froze for a second over there, but let's hopefully that'll come right back. All right, I want to make sure we're getting all of our, oh, it's working, perfect. Okay, so be educated on the market, know when the house is priced right. So that's a really important thing here. Be educated on the market and know when that house is right priced. So if you are, so your agent will be able to educate you on the market and understand that prices have gone up, okay?
The comps that you're looking at from 6, 7, 8 months ago are no longer relevant. I think that was a hard pill for buyers to swallow when we first started getting into this crazy market. It's a completely different market. And we're seeing that with appraisals as well. It's not the same market. The comps that you're using, or if your agent's using from 12 months ago, are no longer relevant. The prices have gone up significantly from then.
Yeah, I'm just trying to move with this thing I just did here. One wonders why I can't do that, Jacqueline, but that's okay.
How to get fancy with the whiteboard.
I don't know why. Isn't that weird that I can't do it? I don't know. It's okay. All right, I'm gonna just do it again because I think that that was such an important point. It was the comps right? The comps from 6 months ago
are no longer relevant. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered a completely different market.
That's true. Okay, perfect. Okay, so be educated, understand the comps from the market previously are just no longer relevant comps, okay? So now let's move into what you all can do to be a best buyer. And one of the things I would say is make sure that you have a finance pre-approval, right?
Yes, yes, yes. And this is for buyers and agents. Agents, you know, I don't know about you guys. Our sellers right now only want qualified, serious buyers that can pull the trigger in their home. So our sellers are asking for pre-approvals before you even enter the home. So you want to have all your documents and information that you're ready, willing, and able up front.
Yeah, and I think, oh, Jack, and look how fancy I just got.
Oh, I'm so impressed.
All right, I did check marks now. All right, let's go back here. So Jacqueline, I know for us, our team, we're not even allowing people in the house unless they have a pre-approval.
Absolutely. There's too much going on. There's too much risk right now. And honestly, I prefer it that way because it speeds up the process. And as a buyer, especially in this market, when you find that home, you're going to have to act fast. So you want to have your pre-approval ready to go so that when you find your home, your offer and your pre-approval goes in immediately.
Right. So there you go, Jacqueline. You said it. Be first.
Be first.
We're listing agents. We work with sellers all the time. So on our team, we separate listing agents and buyer's agents a lot of times. Not all the time, but a lot of times we do. And what I can tell you from a seller's perspective, and I think I've worked on over 200, 300 homes, when you are able to put in the bid first, a solid, strong bid, and you will have preference. That seller will respect you for that. Mm-hmm. So be first and don't be shy. What do I mean? What do I mean? Don't be shy.
Put in your bid. I know there's a lot of people that wait, you know, they don't want the bid to be used. And we just had this happen to us. Being the first bid, coming in, putting your best foot forward first goes a very long way.
That's right. Don't be shy about being first. Don't be shy about telling the seller how much you love the house. And don't be shy. Yeah, we're going to go to that. And don't be shy about putting in a strong bid. You cannot control whether your bid is going to be used to get another bid. Any good listing agent is, of course, going to use your bid to get another bid. It would have happened anyway. You cannot, if you go in and you don't want to give them a good number because you're afraid that they're going to use the number to get another bid, well, you've just set the tone of the deal to the seller that you're not that serious, that you're trying to play games. It doesn't matter if it's wrong or right. It's all a perception game here. It's a perception. You want the seller to perceive that you are coming in strong, that you are very serious, and that you want that house and you're going to make it easy for them to cross the finish line. So if you come in when there's a lot of that, and we just saw this happen. I had somebody got mad at me over this. They knew I had separate, right? There was a client, it was a buyer who came in. They had access to the house prior to the house even going on the market. I was very clear that the house was priced to sell. They came in with their first bid. Days later, when I had already gone on the market, and their bid was not strong. And the response from the agent was, well, everybody's allowed to put in a bid 10% or 7% below ask. I mean, that's not their best number. So why are they going to be persecuted for that? Well, yeah, in a market where there's not that much demand and when a house is well overpriced, sure, no problem. But when you know that the house is incredibly well priced, that there's nothing like it on the market, there are other buyers right behind you, you've had a chance to see the house, or or you're seeing it for the first time, and you go in assuming that you're going to have multiple shots at it, it's just wrong. You can't assume that. You just can't, because somebody's
play games in.
Not smart. It's a not smart assumption. So don't be shy. Here's this one, right? Show some cold hard cash. Ooh, you like that?
Love that.
So let's talk about what that means. So what that means is there's a lot of different ways to show a seller that you're serious. One of the ways is obviously to offer to put down a deposit upon signing a contract, right? So let me clarify that over here. Put the deposit down upon signing a contract. Put a sizable, I can't spell sizable. How am I doing with spelling? Sizable.
You're talking to the wrong person. Why no deposit spelled wrong?
So we just had a situation recently where I did spell deposit wrong. Thank you. I still spelled it wrong.
This is kind of like your good faith. You know, you're putting your best foot forward. You're showing the sellers you want it, and to show you how serious I am. Here's a
yeah. I think it also shows the sellers that you're not cash poor. Okay, so I don't care whether you're buying whatever level house you're buying. No seller wants to work with a buyer that they think is strapped.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants that. So if you're a seller, if you're a buyer, it doesn't matter what price point you're at, you're going to end up putting down some form of cash, whether it's in the deposit or the balance at the closing. You know, to show a seller you're serious, put some skin in the game. To show a seller that you're not strapped for cash, put more skin in the game. It just makes you that much stronger. There's multiple terms in a deal. There's multiple ways to look at the same exact deal and see very different things. That's something we do with our sellers. We could have 3 or 4 bids on the same house, but depending on how they decided to offer that number, things are going to look different. How much deposit? When are they closing? What contractual provisions? What contingencies? So there's all these little nitty gritty. Your right agent will be going over this, educating you and sharing all this amazing information with you, or obviously we're here, call us, we're here to help. So put down a sizable deposit upon signing the contract. Let's go. Let's keep going because we've already run out of time, right, Jacqueline? So here, let's talk waive. Is that the waive? Is it waive or waive? Waive contingency.
WAIVE.
I think it is too. There's another option, waive contingency. So contingencies. So Jacqueline, talk about that and the inspection contingency.
So obviously less contingencies is more desirable to a seller. If you are serious, you know that you have a great agent, you've been through the house, you know it's a great house, waive your inspection contingency. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, show the sellers that you're serious. You're not going to nitpick and renegotiate this deal because you're not going to get the house if that's the case, because there's probably 4 more deals just like you right behind you. Limit it to structural, environmental, only major issues. Another thing we've been doing, which has been fabulous, offer to do the inspection beforehand if you have the opportunity. Get the inspection done before your bid's accepted so that you know moving forward that you're very clear on what you're taking.
And that's a very sensitive point, because in New Jersey, we don't typically do it that way. The sellers are basically off the market while you're doing your inspection. And
when you think about it, it's not right.
I don't think it's right either. So, you know, you might offer to do that inspection prior to going on the market, prior to being under contract. And in doing that, you know, some sellers will respond well to it, some might not, depends on, you know, how they feel. But anyway, you want to limit your inspection to contingency, to structural, environmental. Consider limiting your finance contingency. By the way, you could remove your mortgage contingency.
We've been seeing that a lot in this market.
But you can still get a mortgage.
Mm-hmm. You're just not making the contract contingent on it.
You're not making the sellers responsible for what the house appraises for or your financial ability to actually get to the finish line, okay? So the love note, Jacqueline, you want to talk about that one?
I love the love note. The love note's my favorite. So obviously we're talking about bidding wars, and most likely on the right price home, you're not going to be the only bid that the seller's receiving. Make like a resume, make your resume stand out. So put in a love note with a picture of your family, what you love about the home, what you envision your family doing in the home. It helps make the connection. It helps make you stand out as a buyer. It's all about the story, and it gives you the upper hand. I can't tell you how many times love letters have brought our sellers to tears saying, this is why we bought the home and we can see ourselves 15 years ago like these buyers. It's a big deal. Make your bid stand out any way you can. Telling the sellers how much you love their home is a very good idea.
Shorten the contingency windows. So all the contracts have standard contingency windows for things to happen. Go ahead and tell the sellers that you're going to shorten the contingency windows. So you're going to, if you have a mortgage and you have a finance contingency, instead of it being 45 days and 45 days to get a mortgage commitment, tell them that you're going to shorten it. You're going to get it in 20 days. If you have an inspection contingency that's normally 14 days, tell them you're going to shorten it to 5 days. Shorten the contingency window is a great opportunity to make you stand out and show the seller that you're serious. So that's really important. Find out what their closing date is, what they're required, find out if they would prefer a more flexible closing date. See what else is important, and find out what else is important to, of course, the sellers, right, Jacqueline?
Right. So this is, and this is to agents too. Have your agent or agents, if you're watching, call up the listing agent. Like, what can we do? What's important to your sellers? Is it a longer close? Is it a shorter close? Those are important things to know when making your bid stronger. Piggybacking off of that, and this just happened to us with one of our buyer's agents, and this is again to agents and buyers, make sure all the decision makers are at the home for the first showing, guys. Because as we're saying, these homes are going fast and there's multiple bids, and this is for an agent too. Do not waste your time. If you need your husband to be there to make a decision, make sure you guys are both in the house on the same day, because most likely you're not going to have enough time to come back next week or next weekend with the other decision maker. And one of our buyer's agents actually just lost a house in a bidding war because of that. So agents, make sure when you're talking to your buyers that everyone's together and on the same page and can get in the house at the same time. Buyers, make sure your schedules work out so that you're ready to make the decision when you get into the house.
That's right. And so the other one we were going to talk about is an escalation clause. I'm just going to read the definition so that I don't get it wrong. And these are obviously all things you're going to talk to your agent about. But the escalation clause is an excellent asset when trying to win a bidding war. Simply put, the escalation clause is an addendum to your offer that states you're willing to go up by X amount if another buyer matches your offer. More specifically, it indicates that you will raise your offer by a specific increment whenever another bid is made, up to a set limit. Why are you smiling? That I'm reading it?
I was talking about is texting me because she was watching that I called her out. Go on.
Well, so what happens sometimes is that so it's really, what happened in that situation is it was a brand new buyer. They came out before having the opportunity to talk with us about what's happening. And in all fairness, and let's be direct here, we were telling people that we were going to have a final invest number, an opportunity for people to have a final invest. And then two buyers came in and basically short-circuited that process. And that was the term that the seller used, and it couldn't be nicer people. And we felt pretty awful about it because one of those people that lost out was actually on our team, was actually working with us. But there's the goal, there's always, nothing is ever 100%. Be the backup bid, great. Even if a seller or an agent with all good intentions, and I mean this, says you're going to have an opportunity to come back, we really meant it until two other buyers came in and said, what do I have to pay to have you stop showing? It's a tricky position to be in, but it's a business decision at that point. So the seller's in a tough spot.
Market. I think that's such a valid point. It's that more than anything is a perfect example of what's going on and how strong you have to be when you find your right house.
Exactly. So I feel like, Jacqueline, this is such an amazing amount of information. I think it's incredible.
What do we get for giving all these great tips to
we give great tips. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I think, we're a little behind on Facebook, but it's coming. And, oh, there it is. There you go. So anyway, so I think that's really exciting, Jacqueline. I think, I just want to remind everybody, like, here we are, we're here to help. We are here to, give you market updates, help you deal with whatever the market is doing right now. We need you to call us, get in contact with us, info@stacyesser.com. Reach out to us, let us know if you're interested in purchasing in our areas in all of Bergen County, or in figuring out what kind of equity you have in your house right now. Right now, the market is moving, it's moving fast. We are keeping up. So again, I'm Stacy and
I'm Jacqueline. Every Thursday, we are here to give you all that yummy information. 12:30 on Thursday. Join us, Facebook Live, SEG TV.
And Jacqueline, I wonder, are we going to be able to have this information anywhere else so that people can see it? Is it going to be saved somewhere if they missed it?
Yes, it will be.
Where?
We will post it to our social media. Take a screenshot for me and we will blast it out. It will be on our social media. Again, if you missed this, if you want more information, contact us at info@segrealty.com and we will be happy to send you all of the market updates for your specific towns and information on how to win the bidding war.
Yeah, that's super important. So again, so thank you so much for watching, guys. We're going to tune out. Stacy, Jacqueline, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Stay safe.